name is Sławomir Luściński. I am the assistant professor at Kielce University of Technology. I'm very happy to have a possibility to talk something about the FlexSim's software as a teacher, as a user and enthusiast. The FlexSim's software match a lot of requirements which are related to manufacturing engineering problem solving. I mean the logistics, the scheduling, statistical approach for modeling the systems. So maybe the most important factor for choosing the FlexSim in the past is the flexibility in creating an algorithm of solution. I mean process flow, scripting. Nowadays, after the update, we have much more tools to use. I mean Python scripting with the open environment. My special research interest and cooperation with the industry also makes FlexSim very usable in the terms of the PLC emulation and ability to connect to OPC UA server, which gives me open access to the communication in automation control systems, which makes the possibility of interaction and exchange data between the digital model and the real physical automation system. It started very probably unusual way. I have just looking through the web to find the convenient software and find the InterMarium website and download the, in those times it was called FlexSim Express. It was the great approach from the producer and distributor, have ability to be exposed to almost fully functionality of the product, only within the limitation 30 objects. It's pretty enough to have a taste what is it, how it works and what is the potential. Rest, that's a question of scale. And I started to prepare some courses for the students. We started some pilot projects, and in this moment I find a way to contact directly the InterMarium. They were very helpful. Even before I bought, now I am the owner of 25 licenses, so it's quite different situation. But in the beginning we started with just testing the possibilities, and for the project students we have the licenses which were just limited in period, but they were full. So for instance, for the master thesis it was pretty well to use those licenses, even if I have no access to the full licensed software as a university. But the student has, thanks to the, I think that's the strategy of the company. I think it works very well. So after this period of the scouting, let's say, and recognition, finally I found the budget. And nowadays, I think since 2 years, we have network license for 25 workstations concurrently, including the OptiQuest module. We now developing the projects around the FlexSim in a couple directions. The first, we introduce the courses based on FlexSim, too many courses which are around the logistics or production engineering. That's one of the paths. The second path is about the master thesis. The third one is about how to use the FlexSim to solve the problem of the industry, because it's not the didactic software. Didactic is only the way how to create a future user which will work for the industry. So the master students in our university are always required to not just making theoretical work. No, they are required to go to the company, make a case, and after that do some research and develop some problems. So in a case of the modeling approach, I insist that they should show why they collect the data. So what is the final goal? Where is the place where the data will be used? And they are also required to present the model to the company in which they collect the data. And it was also very impressive to have a feedback from the production managers that they are first time were exposed to such approach for the modeling and simulation, and for them it was a pretty well and very productive. Some of them started to download the express version and try to build their own models. So it was one of the feedbacks which makes me sure that we are on the correct path, and that's the way we should follow. Now we are preparing for the, as a university, we have some also we have some services to offer for the companies, especially in our region. So we started to present them ability to make models, to make some study and improvements. It's worth of mention that academic institution has no ability to have a people which are only dedicated to one software and one kind of the problems. So generally the InterMarium, not only as a distributor of the software but also as a, I think, consulting company, give us the ability to make a joint venture. So we can use their experience, their ability to quick build complicated models with cooperation with the university and as partners with the industry. Of course, for anybody who ever read something about the FlexSim, especially find a book on Amazon, etc., he knows that the most important person now on this conference is Professor Greenwood, and that's a big pleasure and I think big emotions looking at the man. He, in this every product, every company builds something like the society, right? Small society. In our society, Professor Greenwood is something very important, so it's a great opportunity to meet with him and have a direct contact. There is also the good convention which were assumed by the organizers that the cases speaks for software the best way. So let's not talk about the software, just show the cases. And there are a couple of cases until now which we have ability to see. Maybe more exciting thing than in other conferences that we have also the users from the US, the country of the origin of the software. So that's cross-Atlantic perspective on this kind of especially on FlexSim. Just we are not about modeling in general. We are here for FlexSim, and they are very different from various industries. So we can see a different. I mean, pro and cons, right, using such a solution. Maybe most impressive are the presentation which presents parameterization of the models using the ability of the or functionality of the FlexSim to create through the dashboard some kind of the user interface. So the parameterization of the models or creating the it was one of the presentations, then we can just automate creation of the model through the parameterization in some repetitive solutions in the logistic, I mean warehouses and racks, etc. So yes, it's impressive and it saves a lot of time for the modeler engineer as well as for the customer. So that's something very interesting.